Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, December 6, 2022. Today we're going to recap last night's Monday Night Football game, which turned into a thriller. College basketball, NBA, and NHL. We'll look back at the results from the latest golf tournament, which was the Hero World Challenge. News and notes and best bet. We'll start with Monday Night Football. Result to go over. The Bucks came back from 16-3 down with 5:45 left in the fourth quarter to beat the Saints 17-16. Tampa's 6-6, in control in the NFC South. New Orleans is 4-9. Tom Brady 36-54, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Andy Dalton 20 of 28, 229 yards and a touchdown. Brady was bad in this game, but not in the final 5:45 of the game. He turned back into the old Tom Brady for that time. This reminded me a lot of that Rams game from a few weeks back that was on national television. And Tommy Terrific owns up to that nickname yet again as Andy Dalton loses yet another primetime game. And both of these coaches are terrible. I don't like any coach in the NFC South. I think Arthur Smith's gotten a lot out of this Falcons team, but he just doesn't have enough talent. He's probably the best coach in that division right now. Steve Wilkes has done okay after taking over from Matt Rule, but I don't think he's the answer there. So the NFC South is just a mess, as we know. Tampa will probably win that division at 8-9, 9-8, or something dumb like that, and it'd be a home underdog against the Cowboys or the Eagles even in the first round. I say the Eagles because what if they lose to Dallas, and what if they lose another game, maybe to the Giants or something, and Dallas passes them? You never know. So I would not rule out the possibility of the Eagles being the 5 seed. All right, college basketball. Yesterday was a small window. We'll go over the results, and tonight is a larger window, but a bunch of games that are interesting for sure. Green Bay over IUPUI 68-61. Western Michigan over Concordia, Michigan 94-50. Kennesaw State over Charleston Southern 76-65. Lamar over Our Lady of the Lake 91-56. UMass over Albany 87-73. Massillon over Long Island 84-64. Lipscomb over Trevecca, 87-49. Number 18, Gonzaga over Kent State, 73-66. Mexico State over Simon Fraser, 77-35. Number 22, San Diego State over Troy, 60-55. And North Dakota State over Portland, 67-62. Okay, today's game's 11 o'clock. This morning you have Middle Georgia State against Mercer. 5 o'clock, you have South Dakota and Air Force. Air Force, I have projected 4.5 total, 131 and 4/5. And it is let's see here. 3.5 and 126.5. I'm going to take the over. St. John Fisher, Buffalo, we can skip. That's at 6 o'clock. Oakland, Syracuse, Milan, Syracuse by 21.5 total. 149 and a 5th. And it is 16.5 and 144.5. I'm going to lay it with Syracuse. Don't feel strong about it. Carlo, App State, 6:30. Wabash, Bellarmine. Skip. 6:30 Fox Sports 1. Yale Butler. Butler's giving 6.5 totals, 132.5. I'm going to lay it. I have 10 and 134 and a 20th. 7 o'clock ESPN Jimmy V Classic from the Garden. Number 17 Illinois at number 2 Texas. My line here is Texas by a quarter, total 138 and 11/20, and it's 2.5 and 141.5. Tough decision. on where to go, but I'm going to take the under. UNT Greensboro at number 9 Arkansas on the SEC Network. My line's Arkansas by 18, total 136 and 4 fifths. And it's 19.5 and 135.5. Very close here. I'm going to go slight to Greensboro. Hartford at St. Fran Brooklyn. My projected line here is St. Fran Brooklyn by 3 3/4, total 136 and a 20th, and it is 7.5 and 134.5. I'm going to take the points with Hartford. Milwaukee Chattanooga. My projection is Chattanooga by 16 1/4, total 143 and a 20th. And it's 9.5 and 146.5. I'm going to lay to 9.5. Lafayette Princeton. My projection is Princeton 19.5, total 134 and 4. Or I'm sorry, 134 and 9/20ths, and I have 12. I'm going to lay the points with Princeton. FC State Winthrop. My line is Winthrop 19 3/4, total 156, and it is 10.5 and 158.5. I'm going to lay the points at Winthrop. Charleston Presbyterian. My line is Charleston by 15 3/4, total 143 and 13/20ths. And it is 15.5 and 143.5. Tough one. I'm going to slight Charleston. UMBC and Columbia. I have UMBC 5 total 146, and it is, let's see, 7.5 and 149.5. Under. East Carolina, UNC Wilmington. I have Wilmington by 7 total 134 and 4 fifths, and it is 4.5 and 134.5. I'm going to lay the 4.5 with Wilmington. American and Mount St. Mary's. My line is Mount St. Mary's by a half, total 136 and 9/10, and it is 3.5 and 127.5 over. Bryant Tulane. I have Tulane by 10 1/4, total 156 and 2 fifths, and it is Tulane by I don't see that line right now. Ooh. Let's see. I don't see that game. Did that game unexpectedly get postponed or something? Because I don't see it on the board. We'll get back to that. St. Louis and Iona. Mine is St. Louis by 6 1/4, total 147 and 2 fifths, and it's 1.5 and 151.5. I'm going to lay the points with St. Louis. St. Joe's Temple on ESPNU. My line is Temple by 8, total 144. And on 20th of this game at the Palestra. No, it's at Temple's home court. Because if it was at the Palestra, I would have had to change the line. It's 10.5 and 141.5. Over. Next, Bucknell LaSalle. My line's LaSalle 12, total 136 and 4 fifths, and it is 5.5 and 140.5. I'm going to lay the points. Maryland Eastern Shore and George Mason. Yes, Bryant Tulane postponed. George Mason, I have projected 25 3/4, so 135 and 3 fifths. And it's 14.5 and 133.5. I'm going to lay the points. Wagner Fordham. My line is Fordham 16 1/4, so 137 and 3/20, and it's 10.5 and 134.5. I'm going to lay the points. Vermont Dartmouth. My line is Vermont 3.25 total 139 and 13/20, and it is 5.5 and 136.5. Over. Summit Liberty, we can skip. High Point Furman, my line is Furman 12.25 total 152 and 7/20, and it's 12.5 and 156.5. I'm taking the under. Coppin State and NC State, my line's NC State by 24.25 total 154 and 1/10, and it's 21.5 and 157.5. I'm going to take the under. Georgia Tech on ESPN2. My line is Georgia by 1.75 total 132 and 3/5. And it's Georgia Tech by 4.5 total 132.5. Give me Georgia plus 4.5 and plus 172 to win. New Hampshire and Boston College. My line's BC by 16.75 total 130 and 1/10. And it's 13.5 and 126.5. Another tough call here. Over. Don't feel good about it. Coastal Carolina, Wofford at 7:30. My line is Wofford 8, total 142 and 3/10. And it's 6.5 and 137.5. Over. Trevecca Nazarene, Belmont, we can skip. 8 o'clock. We have North Florida at number 1, Houston. My line's Houston 21.5, total 140 and 3/20. And it's 32.5 and 137.5. I'm taking North Florida getting the points. That's a lot. ACC Network, James Madison at number 3, Virginia. Sneakily decent game. My line's Virginia by 15.75, total 145 and 17/20. And it is 11.5 and 133.5. Oh, I like the over a lot. Tarleton at number 12, Baylor. Ryan's Baylor by 26.25, total 148 and 3/20, and it is 19.5 and 142.5. Laying it with Baylor. Kentucky Christian, Austin P. Boyce, Tennessee State, Trinity, Florida, Valpo, Fort Kent, Houston Christian. We can skip all those. North Texas at UT Arlington. My line is North Texas 10, total 116 and 7/10. And it is 11.5 and 114.5. Over. Did not expect to say over for that one. Bradley SIU Edwardsville. My line's Bradley by 3.25, total 138 and 7/20, and it's 6.5 and 134.5. Another over. Little Rock Memphis. My line is Memphis by 24, total 147 and 7/20, and it is Memphis 27.5, total 148.5. I'm going to take Little Rock getting the points. Green Bay, Loyola, Chicago. My line is Loyola by 27.25, total 132, or 137 and a fifth. And we got 19.5 and 125.5. Over. Arkansas State, Central, Arkansas. My line is Central by 2.75, total 135 and 11/20, and it's Arkansas State by 1.5, total 141.5. Over. Or I'm sorry, under. That's an under. Jackson State, TCU. Why don't I see that game, or is TCU ranked again and I had it out of order? Yeah, TCU's back in the rankings. They're 24. Skipped that game by mistake. TCU's favored by 30.25, total 144 and 7/10. And it is 22.5 and 137.5. I'm going to lay it with TCU. Next is Kansas City and Oklahoma. My number is Oklahoma by 24 3/4, total 127 and a tenth. And it is 16.5 and 122.5. I'm going to lay the points. Abilene Christian, Kansas State. My line's Kansas State by 15.5, total 138 and the fifth. And it's 12.5 and 136.5. I'm going to lay the points. Toledo, Northern Iowa at 8:30. My line's Northern as a 5-point dog, total 149 and 9/20. And it is Toledo 4.5, total 153.5. I'm going to take the under. Fox Sports 1, NC Central, Marquette. Mine's Marquette, 16.25, total 145 and a 20th, and it's 19.5 and 146.5. I'm going to take NC Central getting the points. 9 o'clock, ESPN 2, number 13, Maryland at Wisconsin. My line is Maryland by a quarter on the road, total 134 and the 20th, and it's Wisconsin 1.5 point favorite, total 131.5. I'm going to take the over. West Coast Baptist, Southern Utah, we can skip. A&M Commerce, Wyoming, my line is Wyoming by 21 and a quarter, total 136 and 3/5. And it's 11.5 and 131.5. I'm going to lay it with Wyoming. Eastern Oregon, Boise, we can skip. Sam Houston, Oklahoma State on ESPNU. My line's Oklahoma State by 17.5, total 132, and it's 9.5 and 131.5. I'm going to lay the points. South Dakota State and Montana. My line is Montana 8.25, total 136 and 7/20. And it's 1.5 and 136.5. I'm going to lay the 1.5 with Montana. Montana Western Idaho State, we can skip. North Dakota and Idaho. My projection is Idaho 3 3/4, total 139 and 9/20, and it is 3.5 and 138.5. I have a slight list of overs. Western New Mexico at New Mexico, we can skip. Next up, 9:30 from the Garden, Iowa at number 17, Duke. My line's Duke by 5, total 142 and 3/5, and then it's 2.5 and 146.5. Oh my God, do I love Duke. I know Coach K's not there anymore, but they tend to play really well at the Garden. Cal State, Bakersfield, and San Jose State. My line is San Jose State by 8.5, total 130 and a tenth, and it is 8.5 and 122.5. I'm going to take the over. Northern Arizona and Pacific. My line is Pacific by 13.25, total 150 and 9/20, and it's 6.5 and 146.5. I'm going to lay the points. And Nevada and Pepperdine at 11. My line is Pepperdine by 1 3/4, total 141 and 9/20, and it is 2.5 and 144.5. I'm going to take the under. All right, so that's it. We'll move on to the World Cup now. There are games going on right now, so I want to get it out of the way. I should say a game. All right, so Croatia defeats Japan 1-1 in penalty kicks as they defeat Japan. They advance 3-1 on penalties. Daisen Maeda scored for Japan in the 43rd minute to make it 1-0. And then second half, Ivan Perisic ties it for Croatia 1-1. And then the kicks. For the kicks, Nikola Vlasic scores. Takumi Minamino misses. Marcelo Brozovic scores for Croatia. Kaoru Mitoma misses for Japan. Marco Lavaja misses for Croatia. Takuma Asano makes it for Japan. Mario Pazalic makes for Croatia. And Maya Yoshida misses for Japan. And there you have it. And then Brazil knocks off South Korea 4-1. Brazil is so dominant. They're the favorites right now for a reason. Vinicius Jr. in the 7th minute makes it 1-0 Brazil. Neymar in the 13th minute, penalty kick, 2-0. Richarlison, 29th minute, 3-0. Lucas Paqueta, 36th minute, 4-0. Then the second half, Pike Seung-ho in the 76th minute got South Korea on the board. Not enough. So right now it's a scoreless game between Morocco and Spain in the 20th minute. I don't think we've ever done a live bet on the show. Live right now, Spain's minus 310 and Morocco's plus 240. The over-under live, I'm going to go bold. Over 2.5 goals, plus 230. Why not? Let's have some fun with that as a live bet. And then Portugal, Switzerland, 2 o'clock on Fox. That's going to be an interesting game. This is the 4th day of the round of 62. The round of 16. I don't know why I had 62 in my head. I'm sorry. So, Portugal's minus 250. Switzerland's 2-1 as a dog. So, I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at plus 116. I think that's easy money. I think Portugal can do it by themselves. And by the way, I have Spain and Portugal winning the games today. And then after today, there's a couple-day layoff until the 9th, which is Friday. So the quarterfinals are the 9th and the 10th. The semis are the 13th and the 14th. And the championship is the 18th. Third place is the 17th. All right, now we'll move on to the NBA. We'll recap the games from last night and look ahead to a small window for tonight. Clippers over the Hornets, 119-117. Bucks over the Magic, 109-102. Thunder over the Hawks, 121-114. That was an odd game. We'll talk about something in that game in news and notes. Celtics over the Raptors, 116-110. Rockets over the Sixers, 132-123 in double overtime. Bad loss for Philly and James Harden's return to Houston. Grizzlies over the Heat, 101-93. Mavs over the Suns, 130-111. And the Pacers upset the Warriors, 112-104. His best bet loses. All right, only 3 games tonight. 7:30 TNT. LeBron back in Cleveland as the Lakers are at the Cavs. My projection is Cavs by 6 3/4, total 223 and a 10th. And Cleveland is only giving 4.5, total 225.5. So the play is either going to be laying it with Cleveland, which is a 2.25 difference, or taking the under, which is more than 2.25 difference. So I'm going to go with the under, and I think that's a safer pick too because the Lakers are playing much better after a slow start. Pistons Heat. My number is Heat by 11.25, total 223.5, and it's 8.5 and 221. So 2.5 difference on the total and over 2.5 difference on the side. So I'm going to lay 8.5 at the Miami Heat. And 10 o'clock on TNT, the Mavs at the Nuggets. Fun game from Denver. Luka against Nikola Jokic. My projections, Nuggets 6.5, total 224 and a 10th, and it's 4.5 and 223. I'm going to lay to 4.5 with Denver. All right, the NHL, we'll go over the games from last night and look ahead to a nice slate for tonight. Rangers beat the Blues 6-4. A good comeback win for them. Much needed win too. Golden Knights over the Bruins 4-3 in a shootout. Great win for Vegas. Flyers over the Avs 5-3. So the Avs, they've been the Western Conference version of the Rangers, except they have injuries. Caps over the Oilers 3-2, and the Flames over the Coyotes 3-2. And the game of the night, the Canucks over the Canadiens 7-6 in OT. I should say the game of the night was Vegas Boston, but this is like probably a great game too. As Vancouver wins in overtime on a goal by Elias Pettersson. All right, big window tonight, 7 o'clock. You have the Blackhawks and the Devils from Jersey. Great game if you're in New Jersey. They're a minus 410 favorite. Blackhawks are plus 315 over under 6.5. Overs minus 102, and there's minus 120. Blackhawks plus 2.5 is minus 154. Devils minus 1.5 is plus 126. I like the over. I think that's interesting contrarian play. Kings Sens. Kings minus 122. Sens plus 102 over under 6.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Kings minus 1.5 is plus 198. Sens plus 1.5 is minus 250. I don't think the Senators are any good. I like the under. I think the Kings are going to play good defense here. Blue Jackets, Pens. Pens minus 285. Blue Jackets plus 230. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 128. Unders plus 104. Columbus plus 1.5 is minus 106. Pittsburgh minus 1.5 is minus 114. Pittsburgh's playing a little better lately. I like the under in this game. Red Wings, Lightning. Lightning minus 235. Red Wings plus 190. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Red Wings plus 1.5 is minus 128. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 104. Something I like doing is the first period winner. I'm going to go Lightning first period plus 122. 7:30 Blues Islanders from Long Island. Isles minus 170. Blues plus 140 over under 6. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Blues plus 1.5 is minus 180. Islanders minus 1.5 is plus 146. I like the over. 8 o'clock, the Panthers and the Jets. Panthers minus 118, Jets minus 102, over under 6.5. Overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Panthers minus 1.5 is plus 198. Jets plus 1.5 is minus 250. I like the Jets as a slight home dog, minus 102. They're playing better than Florida right now. 8:30, Leafs Stars. That's a good game. Leafs minus 118, Stars minus 102, over under 6.5. Overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Leafs minus 1.5 is plus 210. Stars plus 1.5 is minus 265. I like Dallas at home as a dog, or minus 102. I parlayed them in Winnipeg in a round robin with something else. 10 o'clock, Canes Ducks. Canes minus 310, Ducks plus 245, over under 6, minus 110 each way. Canes minus 1.5 is minus 115, Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 105. I'm going with the over. And then the Canucks and the Kraken. Kraken minus 265, Canadians plus 215, over under 6.5. Overs plus 104, there's minus 128. Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 112. Kraken minus 1.5 is minus 108. I'm going with the first period result, Seattle Kraken at plus 116. All right, now we'll move on to golf. We didn't get to it yesterday. We'll go over the results from the Hero World Championship. Your winner with the score of 16 under, Victor Hovland. Second with 14 under, Scotty Scheffler. Third with 12 under, Cam Young. Fourth with 11 under, Xander Schauffele. Fifth with 10 under, Justin Thomas. Sixth with 9 under, Colin Morikawa. Seventh with 6 under, Tony Finau. Tied for 8th with 5 under, Sungjae Im and John Rahm. Tied for 10th with 4 under, Sepp Straka and Tom Kim. 12th with 2 under, Sam Burns. Tied for 13th with 1 under, Brett Horschel and Matt Fitzpatrick. 15th with 1 over, Jordan Spieth. 16th with 2 over, Corey Connors. 17th with 4 over, Max Homa. 18th with 5 over, Shane Lowry. 19th with 6 over, Kevin Kisner. And 20th with 7 over, Tommy Fleetwood. We're not going to have golf again until January. When it is the Tournament of Champions. So, nice little break from PGA. All right, now we'll go over the news and notes for today. So, we'll start with baseball. The biggest signing of yesterday, you can make a case for 2. But from a contract standpoint, it's easily Trey Turner landing with the Philadelphia Phillies, your reigning NL champions, 11 years, $300 million, to become their new starting shortstop. What a signing for Philly. It's like they're reuniting all the old Nats players. It's him, it's Schwarber, and it's Bryce Harper. But Schwarber and Bryce didn't play together in D.C. Schwarber got there after Bryce left. They go to Philly. So 11-year deal, that is monstrous. They went above and beyond to get this guy. Trey Turner is a star player. He's among one of the best shortstops in all the game. He was the best shortstop in baseball last year. This could be a bad contract in the end, but Philly's desperate. They came close to winning the World Series this past season. And I think this signing makes them the team to beat in the NL East. I really do. You could have argued that already because they were in the World Series. But to me, it's the Philadelphia Phillies 1, the Braves 2, and the New York Mets 3, who go out and sign Justin Verlander, 2 years, $86 million, insane deal. He's gonna be making $43 million a year, the same amount annual average as Max Scherzer, who he reunites with after pitching together in Detroit when they first entered their primes. I like the signing for the Mets. I think that this signing has mixed opinions because of Verlander's age, but this is a better short-term signing for them than it would have been if they signed DeGrom to what Texas paid him. So this is what I think is a great signing for the Mets. They just need offense. They need to bring back Brandon Nimmo. That's why I have them third in the NL East pecking order right now, because they need to fix their offense, which faltered in the series against San Diego in a big way. Nobody talks about it because of how bad Scherzer was in his playoff game, Edwin Diaz melting down, and oh yeah, the other team in town melted down and got swept by the Astros. So I think the Mets' offense faltering against San Diego in that short wild card series isn't getting talked about enough. They need to go out and get Pete Alonso some help. But nevertheless, it's a wonderful signing for the New York Mets and a better signing than given credit for because it's only a 2-year deal. So, not a bad signing for the Mets. So a lot of Aaron Judge speculation right now. There's rumors that he might sign on Wednesday, or he could sign today. There are rumors that he was flying out to San Diego, and then somebody came out and denied it, and it's a whole big mess. Nobody knows what they're talking about when it comes to Aaron Judge. I think people are just trying to make up shit and get the Yankees and their fans worked up for no reason. But where Aaron Judge was last night was in Tampa as he watched Tom Brady and the Buccaneers come back to beat the Saints. And him and Brady spoke, and Brady tried to recruit him to the Buccaneers. But I have a crazy conspiracy theory. I hope it's wrong. So a rumor came out in the evening that the Red Sox are one of the teams in pursuit of Aaron Judge, which doesn't shock me at all. The Red Sox are in on everybody. They're the Boston Red Sox. They should be in on everybody. They're like the Yankees. They should be in on everybody. They're like the Dodgers. So they're the big three when it comes to being linked to players, obviously. And then there's a rumor going around that Tom Brady might go back to New England. What if he's trying to recruit Judge to the Red Sox and say, I'm going back to New England and maybe you should come to Boston too? Maybe that could be it. Or the reason why Judge could be in Tampa is because not only does he reside in Tampa, but who else is in Tampa right now? Hal Steinbrenner. The Yankees' facilities are also in Tampa. And there's rumors that he's been meeting with Hal Steinbrenner, and Hal is the one that's taking care of the Aaron Judge negotiations. Not that Cashman's left out of it, but I think Cashman's doing everything he can to not give away much. He's just put in a tough situation. I don't think that he should have been brought back as Yankees general manager, honestly. But I got to be honest, I think he was dealt a tough situation here with the Judge thing. And he's going to be the fall guy for it if it doesn't happen. Him and his boss, Hal Steinbrenner. But we'll see what happens with Judge. And at gunpoint, I think he's back with the Yankees. I'm going to say it's 60-40. But Aaron Judge has at least one 9-year offer sitting at the table as the bidding war heats up. And by the way, the Cashman extension was finally announced, 4 years, and which is through the 2026 season. That doesn't surprise me. That was pretty much done the second the Yankees season ended against the Astros. And like I said, I don't think he should have been brought back. But, we'll see what happens here within the next couple of days and months. So the all MLB teams were announced. And, it was a fun list. So the first team, starting pitchers, Justin Verlander, Sandy Alcantara, Alek Manoah, Shohei Ohtani, Framber Valdez. Catcher, JT Realmuto. First baseman, Paul Goldschmidt. Second base, Jose Altuve. Shortstop, Trey Turner. Third base, Manny Machado. Outfielders, Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, and Aaron Judge. You can't convince me otherwise. Those are the best three outfielders in our sport, hands down. DH, Yordan Alvarez, well-deserved. He had a big year. And relievers, Emmanuel Clase and Edwin Diaz. And your second team, your pitchers, Dylan Cease, Max Fried, Aaron Nola, Max Scherzer, Julio Urias. Relievers, Ryan Helsley and Ryan Presley. Catcher, Will Smith. First base, Freddie Freeman. Second base, Andre Jimenez. Shortstop, Francisco Lindor. Third base, Nolan Arenado. Outfielders, Julio Rodriguez, Kyle Schwarber, and Kyle Tucker. And DH, Shohei Ohtani. Those are good teams right there. I don't know if anybody really got snubbed, honestly. I think those are very, very fair teams on all accounts. So more baseball stuff. The Cardinals in on Dansby Swanson. That would be interesting. The D-backs are serious on Xander Bogaerts, who has a strong relationship with Mike Hazen. The Blue Jays are in on Brian Reynolds, who requested a trade from Pittsburgh. A name that's popped up in trade rumors is White Sox closer Liam Hendricks, which is interesting. I wonder if the White Sox realize that they have not no avenue to compete, but that they lost Abreu and they realize we're not very good anyway, so why not blow it up? We tried. So we'll see about that. Orioles signed Kyle Gibson, 1 year, $10 million, so that deal's official. 8 teams want Christian Vasquez, as that market is very active. Interested teams, Cubs, Giants, Cardinals. I think the Astros got to still be interested. The Cubs may have Carlos Correa, and there's rumors that they could sign not one but 2 shortstops. They could sign both Xander Bogaerts and Dansby Swanson like the Rangers did with Simeon and Seager last year. And teams that are interested in former MVP Andrew McCutchen, the Dodgers, and the Rays. I kind of like the idea of him on both of those teams. He'd fit well at both. So, there's a lot of news and notes today. College basketball, the AP poll came out for the new week. Number 1's Houston, 2 Texas, 3 Virginia, 4 Purdue, 5 UConn. 6 Kansas, 7 Tennessee, 8 Alabama, 9 Arkansas, 10 Arizona. 11 Auburn, 12 Baylor, 13 Maryland, 14 Indiana, 15 Duke. 16 Kentucky. 17 Illinois, 18 Gonzaga, 19 UCLA, 20 Iowa State, 21 Creighton, 22 San Diego State, so they're back in it. 23 Mississippi State, 24 TCU, so they're back in it. And 25 Ohio State. Others receiving votes: Iowa, Charleston, Miami, Virginia Tech, Arizona State, Wisconsin, Utah, UNLV, Texas Tech, West Virginia, Marquette, Xavier, Memphis, New Mexico, Michigan State, Missouri, Kansas State, North Carolina, and obviously UNC and Michigan State. Very disappointing starts for both those teams. Drop out of the top 25. So Trae Young was happy with his DNP and says it's unfortunate private situations were made public after he skipped Friday night's game. Bradley Beal strained hamstring will be reevaluated in 1 week after suffering the injury against the Lakers. So, James Harden came back against the Rockets. We talked about that already. And Andrew Wiggins did not play last night due to a right adductor tightness. That makes sense to why Indiana could have won that game, even though they didn't have Halliburton either, which is crazy that they won that game. Football, the Heisman finalists have been announced. It's C.J. Stroud, it's Caleb Williams, it's Max Duggan, and it's Stetson Bennett. I don't know who wins. I think it might be Max Duggan, who might have had his Heisman moment in defeat the other day against Kansas State. I don't think Caleb Williams should win after that pathetic performance against Utah. Devin Leary enters the transfer portal. That's interesting. We'll see who might end up could recruit him. LSU star wide receiver Kayshon Boutte returns to school, so that's good for LSU. And Ohio State's Jackson Smith-Njigba won't play in the college football playoff semifinal against Georgia. And he's someone that barely played all year. If he didn't, or if he really did, he really didn't play all year. Really getting ready for the draft. He pulled the Jamar Chase without really admitting it. It looks like that Odell Beckham Jr. will be signing with the Dallas Cowboys as he went to the Mavs game last night and was hanging out with Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs. And he was asked if he was going to Dallas. He says it's a good possibility. And Baker Mayfield was cut by the Panthers yesterday and is expected to hit waivers. We'll see if San Francisco goes after him. Lamar Jackson is week to week and says less likely Jackson will play this week due to the knee injury. So it looks like it's going to be Tyler Huntley. Mark Ingram says that he's sorry for his mistake. He says he's sick over not getting late first down during the loss to the Bucs. So NFL Week 15 schedule changes. There's a Saturday triple header, which is really, really fun. So it's 1 o'clock Colts Vikings, 4:30 Ravens Browns, and 8:15 Dolphins Bills. All on NFL Network. And the game that gets flexed into the Sunday night game, NFC East rematch from Sunday, the rematch of the tie game, Giants Commanders from D.C. I'm trying to figure out, I guess the Patriots-Raiders game was the game that got flexed out. Was it Cardinals-Broncos? I wonder what game it was that got flexed out. It probably was, I think it was probably Pats-Raiders or Cards-Broncos. I don't think it was Titans-Chargers that was in that spot. Maybe it was. I don't think it was Bengals-Bucks either. But Giants-Commanders does deserve that Sunday night game, even though that was a tie the other day. And that's it for news and notes. And last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. There's a couple I have in mind for best bet. I'm going to lay a quarter unit There's a couple games I had in mind. There's a couple interesting college basketball games that I like. But I don't know if I want to go to college basketball. There's some interesting things that I don't mind playing in hockey. I'm going to go over 6.5 in Devils Blackhawks. I think that's an interesting pick. And I just don't think that that game is going under 6.5. I just don't. Devils can do it by themselves, and maybe Chicago scores a couple too. Maybe this is like a 5-2 game. So I'm going to go over 6.5 and minus 102 between the Blackhawks and the Devils for my best bet of the day. All right, so there you have it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything and looking ahead to everything tomorrow, including a big episode of Survivor. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.